So could you tell us, Sarah, what are the main practices which Israeli customers seek in the USA?
Sure. In my experience, it's commercial litigation, intellectual property, cybersecurity, construction, gaming, tax, trust and estates. I get a lot of calls for tax, trust and estates, enforcement of judgments, even as I said before, surrogacy. I have a labor and employment matter right now. I have M&A. You know, my firm in particular doesn't do the biggest M&A matters, but M&A is a big deal. Real estate. We were called for a real estate matter last week. And as I said, tax and trust and estates are big because Israelis often have, they either have wills or they have property here and they have wills here. They have family members that are here. So there's a lot of trust and estates.
Okay. Can you describe the needs of a typical Israeli client? I know the Israeli clients are not easy.
That's a good question. I can't say that Israeli clients need more hand-holding than any other client anywhere in the world. They generally operate and are thinking faster than many other clients. So whereas other clients, we American lawyers think that we have to teach them or train them in some regard, Israeli clients are often very pleased to somewhat train us. So sometimes it's a relationship where the Israeli lawyer knows actually quite a lot about American law. I'd like to think we know it a little bit better and we're licensed to practice it. But the needs, I think Israeli clients generally need the American lawyer to be patient with them because the Israeli client is moving at 100 miles per hour.
Okay.
So patience and the American lawyer needs to listen because the Israeli client has a lot to say.
Okay. In fact, you gave the answer to my next question is if you could give a tip to an Israeli client when negotiating with an American law firm. I mean, what would be the main thing?
To be patient with the American lawyer, because even for us New York lawyers, and we are criticized by lawyers in many other parts of the country because it's considered we're not as polite. I mean, New York lawyers are a little bit too aggressive. We speak too quickly. We're sometimes too sharp, which means another word for not being polite. And it's important for both parties to be patient and gracious with the other side. It goes a long way. So we lawyers, particularly from New York, need to be more gracious when we're dealing with Israeli clients and vice versa. And if the Israeli matter involves other states, they are a little bit, not that they're slower, but they take more time to get to know the Israeli client. And they like to kibitz or to talk about personal things for the first 5 minutes and first maybe 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's important. Getting to try to know the lawyer a little bit personally and vice versa, the client a little bit personally, particularly for the rest of the client, the rest of the country, I mean, goes a long way. I know in my foreign clients, I spend a great deal of time talking with them about their families because it's important. And every culture has a different almost amount of time that you need to spend talking about their families. And then you talk about business afterwards. For Israelis, the amount of time you talk about your families is much, much, much shorter. But it's important nevertheless.
אוקיי, שרה, אני רוצה להודות לך על המידע המעניין והחשוב ששיתפת אותנו בו, ושיהיה לנו טוב.
יופי, מעולה.